expectations. We expect lots, a lot more than we used to. So I will tell you my personal experience. When I was 5, the thing I expected was to become an astronaut, to become, to go on the moon. But then around 78, 79, things got worse and worse. So I remember being around 8, 9 and wishing to be an elevator guy, to push the buttons on the elevator. Seemed like a really good job. Then things changed to the worst again, and the thing I wished the most was to have hot water. We had hot water once a month, so I wanted to, and that was the biggest wish I had. I was so happy when we had hot water. Then when I was 18, still I wanted hot water. Now everything changed. I mean, I can wish whatever I want, and I think I can reach whatever I want. The society changed a lot, and opportunities are there, you just need to take them. While in communism, everything was pre-established somehow. And if you went to a certain high school, you had to follow that direction. So if you went for a technical college, your only chance was to become an engineer, nothing else. Now you can become whatever you want. I think it's extremely dynamic. I love the dynamism of Romanian society. Things are changing very fast. And we do expect things to change fast. Sometimes we do expect to change too fast, and we get frustrated because of that. As a Roma, I do expect changes, and I expect them also sometimes too fast. There are lots of good changes, and I love this dynamism. The society is very ready to change and is going through all kinds of processes. Some are better than the others. But as I said, it's very dynamic and it's very exciting to be in Romania. I think we have a very high capacity to adapt. And I think while in communism we adapted to be silent and survive, right now this type of adapting is towards wanting more. And if you want more, you need to do a lot. And you need to work hard to get there. So I think that's very positive. I think Romanians in general want a lot and try a lot to get where they want to get. Another positive thing, I think we become from a nation which was always complacent, always happy to endure. Right now we are not putting up with anything. We are very vocal about whatever happens. I think this is extremely positive. Sometimes we polarize. I mean, the risk is when you contest a lot, you become a society which is polarized. But I think up to this moment, we kind of reach an equilibrium. So I like that. I think we are doing a lot better than most of Europe when it comes to being vocal about things which we don't like. It's everything to discover. I think Romania, it's extremely, as I said, extremely dynamic. This place is anything but boring. It's an extremely exciting place. And of course you not always find the best things or the most beautiful things, but it's still extremely exciting. I think Romania, it's one of still very exciting countries in Europe. And I'm quite sad to see that not many Europeans come to see Romania. I think they should try it. As you know, back in the 90s, the majority of the Romanians wanted to go west, to experiment, to see what's the West like. So I think it should be a reverse migration right now. I think the West should come and see what Romania is about, because I think at this moment we are a much more dynamic society than most of the Western European countries. Of course we are European, we always were. But if somebody will ask, I will usually take the time and explain that Romania was always European. I mean, there is nothing which is different from Europe. I mean, we are as European as any other nation. I think we have great youth, and I think we're not tapping well into the youth potential. I think I'm working with young people, and I think they're extremely energetic, and they have this will and wish to change things, and to change them fast and to the better. And I think most of the youth in Europe is kind of bored. So this is one of the things which are really good in Romania. The second part, I think we have a workforce which is very effective. I mean, cost and production-wise, I think Romania is still the best place in Europe to invest. I lived in the United States, I lived in Canada, I lived in Belgium, and I lived in Malta. So I lived altogether in 7 countries, but I can go back to any of the first 4. I don't wish to go back. I feel extremely happy in Romania, so I took even my Canadian family with me here. So I think this is an answer. Of course, I would miss Romania. I travel most of the time. 40% of my time I'm traveling, so I do miss coming home. If I would do that, probably the first thing I would have to do would be to laugh, because thinking what I wished for back in 1989 and what I wish for now is just laughable. At that moment, I wished the most I could wish was to be maybe an engineer and to work maybe in one of the small cities in Romania, and to have hot water and to have at the same time butter and cheese, not just butter or cheese. And now I think all this, all I wished for back in 1989 are just there. I think they are the basic requirements of breathing or something like that. It's, as I said, our expectations went skyrocketing. I worked for IBM, for Microsoft. I traveled all over the world. I met lots of presidents of states. I'm working with the European Commission. I met fantastic people. I met one of my most favorite writers, and I talked to them. And I met my most favorite footballers, and I talked to them, and I ate with them. And that seemed, in 1989, that would seem like I would have to check myself into a psychiatric hospital if I was thinking that all this would be possible. So I met Umberto Eco, so for me it was like the best thing ever. I think we managed to change lots. The things are not as good as they could be, but there are huge improvements. And sometimes we are too bitter and we don't see the improvements. The fact that nowadays you can talk about discrimination, you can talk about a European issue, that most of the people acknowledge the fact that Roma were slaves, that they were discriminated, that there was a genocide. There were things you couldn't even think of talking back in 1989. And it was so little awareness about all this. And now it's possible to talk, as I said, it's possible to talk to elites about these issues, and you get support for this, and things are improving. I think both the Romanian society, the European society, and the Roma community started to understand that there is a price to pay for social inclusion, and we're moving forward to do this. We are still far from it. There are lots to do both in the Roma communities and at the political level, but we are moving forward.